If you're thinking about having kids at any point in your lifetime, but you're not sure when, get an egg retrieval. Do it. Do it immediately. And regardless of whether or not you are in a committed relationship, I don't care if you're married, I don't care if you've been together for 15 years, don't make embryos. Make eggs. Because I made embryos with my ex-husband, and we had made the decision that if we ever got a divorce that we would destroy them, which we did. And I've done one egg retrieval since with low results, and I just reached out to my IVF clinic about a second round, and I'm experiencing perimenopause already, and I need to go on estrogen. And we're gonna test my various hormones to see if it's even worth trying another egg retrieval. So for anyone who says, you look so young, you've got all the time in the world, I know you mean well. But fertility is so much more complicated than just positivity and you look young. And there's still time, and keep trying. So if you can freeze your eggs when you're young, do it. Do it. If you're thinking about
Fertility is so much more than positivity and you look young and you still have time. Just hang on that for a moment. You know, the West really is a failed society. It's failing in front of our eyes live. It's failing in front of our eyes live. The whole Western world is experiencing mass depopulation. Mass depopulation. The number of children per family is well below the rate required to reproduce and grow a nation, or at least maintain itself. We're on the verge of population collapse. But you know, that's on a macro level. On a micro level, I can't even, like, seeing a woman so distraught like this. One of the greatest regrets a woman will have if she prioritizes her career and so on is not being able to have children if she's unable to have them. I know someone in my extended family. I know someone personally in my extended family who prioritized their career but always wanted to have children. They always intended on having children. And at the age of just 30, they were rushed into hospital. I can't remember what the complication was, but she needed her entire womb removed. Comment below if you remember what the name of that procedure is. The name escapes me when you need to have your womb removed, or when the womb is removed. At 30. The greatest regret of her life. Now, I'm not scaremongering, I'm not fearmongering, but perimenopause at 35 years old, that means this woman's never going to have a child. You know what perimenopause is? Perimenopause is a process that a woman goes through leading up to her infertility. It lasts a few years. Again, if you're a doctor, comment below exactly how long it lasts. I know it can last anywhere from 2 to 5 years. A woman starts experiencing hot flashes, missing her periods every 2-3 months. Then she'll get a period. Then it'll be extremely heavy, so on and so forth. That's perimenopause. That is when the body's fertile or fertility, the body's fertility is packing up. It's calling it a day. We're done here. We're out. That used to happen in your 40s, 50s, and sometimes even later for some women. Typically 50s and beyond. 50s and beyond, some women even in their 60s, is when they begin to experience perimenopause. And then the finality of that is actual menopause, where a woman no longer bleeds, she no longer experiences a period, she's completely infertile. 35 years old. 35 years old. I know I have a significant percentage of female viewers. In fact, there's one sister, and shout out to you, sister. She's a client of mine. I do consultations with her. And mashallah, she's taken the bull by the horns and taken the initiative. And I know she's going to be watching this now. So shout out to you, sister. And this sister, before we had our first consultation, she said to me, Mahdi, I've just finished watching a video of yours. And it's kept me up all night long. I've been unable to sleep. I'm in my late 20s. And up until now, I've never considered getting married. She's a Muslim woman. And I've just watched your video, and I'll put it up here somewhere in the cards, whereby you mention that 90% of a woman's eggs are dead by the age of 30. Sisters, again, I'm not fear-mongering. I'm just passing you a message. You don't have time. As it is, without considering the fact that we are now more infertile as a species than ever, putting that to the side, you already didn't have time. If you haven't patterned up a husband in your late teens and 20s at the maximum, the chances of you being able to do so in your 30s come down dramatically, especially as your education increases. There's a direct correlation. The more educated a woman becomes, the less likely it is she will ever be married. It's quoting Jordan Peterson here. He's not pulling this out my backside. Aside from that, though, couple that now with the fact that we are now more infertile than ever, men and women alike, because of the food we consume, what's in our water, the tools that we use on a day-to-day basis that are harming us, harming our health, specifically our fertility. You don't have time. You don't. And if you're starting to feel a certain sense of urgency, even borderline fear, good. I'm not fear-mongering, but you should, if you harbor and hold any intentions, any motivations of reproducing and having a child or children, as most women do, I am here to tell you, you don't have time. You don't. You need to figure this out sooner rather than later. Stuff your bloody education. Stuff your studies. If that's what it comes down to. It's a nice bonus to have after you've figured out the marriage equation. After you have figured out the children equation. Then it's a nice to have. It's a nice little bonus on the side. But to prioritize it and delay marriage and subsequently children because of it could very easily become the greatest regret of your life. And to add to that, the advice that the young lady gave in her video was, in her TikTok video, get egg retrieval. No, don't get egg retrieval. Get married. The truth of the matter is she's 35 years old. She's been lied to, so we can't entirely blame her. She was told she can have it all. You can have your studies, and you can have your education, and you can have your degree, and you can have your job, and you can have your fairy tale husband as well. And this is simply not the case for most women. Exhibit A. The truth of the matter is, she should have patterned up her husband 15 years ago. She's 15 years late to the party. So as for this advice, get egg retrieval. No amount of egg retrieval is going to prevent your menopause. Okay, maybe if you're a non-Muslim, then you don't mind having your eggs incubated in another woman. If you've even got the money for that. But we're Muslims. It's a different story for us. We can't do that. To the best of my knowledge, we can't do that. And most of you will never be able to afford it anyway. The solution is not to get egg retrieval. Sister, the solution is get married as a matter of priority, as a matter of urgency. And know this, very important you hone in on what I'm about to tell you here. If you speak to the older generation who were born in the 50s and 60s, who became housewives straight away, I know people in my extended family who are like this. They're old now. They're in their 70s and 80s. The one regret they have, they will tell you, is, I regret having gotten married so young. I wish I had studied. I wish I had a career. So ironic. Now, my generation, millennials, once they hit their 70s and 80s, they're going to say in reverse, I wish I hadn't prioritized my education. I wish that I had gotten married sooner and had children. Here's the thing. Life is about choices and trade-offs. Choices and trade-offs. Whenever I've been asked, Mahdi, should I have kids young or should I have them older? I say to you, choices and trade-offs. If you have them young, there's benefits, but there's also drawbacks. If you have them older, there are benefits, but there are also drawbacks. Here in this example here, if you get married as a woman young and you have children at the expense of your education, there are benefits, but there are also drawbacks. Your career, ambitions that you had will probably get thrown out the window, or at least held back to a great degree. Equally, there are advantages and drawbacks of delaying having children. The advantages are obvious. You get to prioritize your career. But the disadvantages are you might never have children. You, as a responsible adult, as a responsible human being, must make peace with the fact that there is no easy option. There is no regret-free option. There is no option that would lead you to this utopian success, whereby it was the correct decision and I wish I should have done, and there's none of that. No. There is simply which option is going to give me the greater satisfaction of the two. You as a woman must ask yourself, which will bring you greater satisfaction? Having my career or having my baby?